Welcome back to the Barry Charles Footy Show. In this episode, we're going to talk about the best 5/8s in the comp in 2023. Who were the best? Who were the worst? Well, let's have a look at the top 10 players I thought were in 2023. So let's start off at number 10, Dylan Brown. Yes, Dylan Brown, absolutely done the worst thing in the world, but in between, he was very solid. I wouldn't say he was outstanding this season. He'll need to go to another level and really help Mitchell Moses out in 2023 to get them back to where they need to be in the top echelon. So he had a little bit of disappointing parts of it, but in between he was fairly solid, wasn't outstanding. Very much like my number 9 as well, Luke Keary. Yes, I thought Luke Keary had a very average season, but he started to play a lot better at the end of the season. I thought Sam Walker was the scapegoat for Luke Keary, so I thought, that was just something they could have rectified there a little bit there. But that's the way they went. But Luke Keary, a lot of work to do to really get himself back up to the best 5/8s from a guy that was playing New South Wales so long ago now. Was it 9 years ago now? Something like that. Quite a while ago now. Winning those grand finals, but he's absolutely not the same player he once was. Another player in the same sort of ilk who's more got to keep him on the field. Number 8 for the Gold Coast Titans, Kieran Foran. Let's hope Des Hasler can get him back fit and firing. He has been playing a lot more in the last few seasons, but he's still injury prone. But he had a solid season when he was on the field. It really was a big difference for the Titans if he's on the field. And I hope he will be for 2024, because I think the Gold Coast are a potential sneaky grand finalist for next season. I think with Des Hasler at the realm, they're definitely a top 8 potential, and with the forward pick they got, they should be expecting that. Just got to get more out of the number 7, which is the big question they have there. They were wishing they had kept Fogarty, didn't they? Number 7 on this list of 5/8s here is Tommy Dearden. While he keeps pushing around that origin mark, he's in the background as the next backup player to come in the halves, but just doesn't seem to get the game time. He maybe deserves to be a little bit higher, but I didn't think he had the greatest of seasons for mine, but still solid season. He's always solid, but I think he might have just not gone as good as he did last season. Tom Denham, but still a very, very good player. Number 6, Jack Whiten. Oh, Whiten, yes. But yes, Jack Whiten still had a solid season, regardless of getting moved to the centre at the end of the season. He's still a very good player and one of the key players for the Canberra Raiders. Probably slightly down on his best this season, but is still very, very good. Number 5, and probably one of the most polarising players in the game, Jerome Luai. Probably not his best season, had injury concerns as well, but he was still very solid. He always is solid as well, Jerome Luai. But yes, it was just still one of those okay seasons for Jerome Luai. Nothing great, but definitely in the top 5/8s in the game. Number 4, one of the most improved, Luke Metcalf from the Warriors. Finally got some game time and was very consistent, but unfortunately done his hammy at the wrong time of the season. And probably one of the big reasons the Warriors didn't have a chance of making the grand final, because Te Maire Martin was underdone, and it was clear to see he was not ready for NRL football. He was forced into playing there, unfortunately, but he just wasn't fit enough. And at the end of the day, it was costly in the end for the Warriors. Luke Metcalf going down, but he had a season, absolutely outstanding season. If he can go to another level, then look out. Now, this is the controversy of this thing, but we'll go, that's actually the next one. But number 3 for me is Cameron Munster. Disappointing season, to be honest. So he probably should have been lower on the list. I thought he had a very quiet season, but he did some big things when he needed to get in that kick for Will Warbrick, Origin as well at times. But it was a very disappointing season for Cameron Munster's standards, but he was still very solid, and I think people forget how good he is, Cameron Munster. And still one of the best in the game. But my number 2, and people say, why is he not number 1? You're kidding me, Barry? What are you doing? My number 2 is Ezra Mam. Absolutely consistent, personified. great in the grand final. Had an absolutely well season. Probably deserves to be number 1 on the list. But obviously because I'm wearing this jersey. Not saying Rabbitohs is my only team, but it's one of my teams. Then I had to go for my Rabbitohs for number 1. But yes, Ezra Mam, gun, outstanding. If he plays like this every single year, he will go down as one of the best and will give Broncos their premiership they deserve if he can continue to play in this sort of form. Outstanding season, very good runner of the ball, attacking. We will see. He's probably got to still work on the defence at times. We will see. Ezra Mam, very good player. But my number 1, I thought he was after the first 12 rounds of the season, Cody Walker was the best player in the comp. Should have played for New South Wales in game 1, I believe. I think that curtailed their season. I think Cody Walker got dented confidence, thinking I'm the best player in the game and I cannot get a go in New South Wales. I really think that dented his confidence, as well as Latrell Mitchell getting injury. But Cody Walker, after the first 11 rounds, was one of the best players in the comp. Absolutely on fire. It was still a bit of a false sense of dawn for the Rabbitohs, as proved. They were defensively leaking stuff and their knock-ons and stuff, and it really come back to bite them later in the season. But yeah, Cody Walker, outstanding, very outstanding. And his last game for New South Wales was an absolute masterclass, and is to me the second best game from a player all season. Well, overall game was probably the most. He was so controlling the New South Wales team in that third game. Was absolutely outstanding in that game, Cody Walker. You talk about the whole game, it was probably the best whole game of the season, but no doubt about it, Nathan Cleary, last 20 minutes in the grand final, was out of this world and the best performance of the year. But yes, Cody Walker to me was the best player this season. Unlucky not to make the list, Isaiah Katoa, but he fell out a bit at the end of the season. But that is my 5/8 of the year, how I ranked them. You're welcome to leave comments and disagree or agree with my comments. Obviously Ezra Mam was probably the best, to be honest, but Cody Walker though, in that first half of the year, was absolutely on fire, and that third game for Origin was off the chain for Cody Walker. But that is the Barry Charles Footy Show for another day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have an awesome day out there.